Hello world, today we'll be doing arrays and hashing based questions. I have solved these ones previously prior to this stream, so let's begin. Okay, first is concatenation of array. We're given an integer array of nums, length n. We need to return an array of length 2n, twice the value of the first list, where we are replicating the first list again to the original one. So we can approach this by simply multiplying this with 2 or just concatenating it with the normal basic list addition. If at all you wanted to do a subtraction operation onto this list, Python would not support that, to subtract a list element from another list element. So what you'll be expecting is an error, but we can easily resolve this error by doing something like this. So let me just show you. So we can import the NumPy array. By the way, this is not for the solution, this is something different. I'm just covering the concept of NumPy subtraction and division. So in NumPy, you can instantiate this as np.array with your list 1, 4 or whatever, and you will have another one. So the subtraction of these two will give you 0. Alright, let's print this. Okay, so see, this is 0. But if at all I subtracted one list from another list without doing this sort of NumPy operation, it will give me that subtraction is unsupported for the operand type list and list. Okay, so the solution to this problem, by the way, you can also divide NumPy arrays. 8 divided by b, and it will go on dividing each element with itself. Let's run this. So this is as it is. Okay, now let's solve this problem. We have the list nums and we want the list to replicate again, so we can simply do return nums times 2 or times n if n was explicitly given. Let's run this. Okay, next question contains duplicate. We're given an integer array of nums and we have to return true if any value appears more than once in the array. That means in an array we have to return true if it contains a duplicate, else we return false. Now to approach this problem, let's say we have this list. Okay, we have 3 people in the stream. Welcome. Alright, so we have this list and we need to check whether it contains a duplicate or not. So what we can simply do is we can traverse over the list. So for 1, 2, 0, 2 length of nums. Okay, now we need to check for duplicates, right? That means when we are at the first index, we can somehow store whatever we are seeing, right? So let's just go on creating a scene sort of data structure. Scene can be a, let's just keep it as a list for now. We can change the data structure anyways later on. And we'll go on adding whatever we see. So let's just leave it as num. So let me just make it a for each loop. 1 second. For each num in nums, we go on adding the number. Okay, that means we are at index 1, at index 0 we add 1, at index 1 we add 2, at index 3 we add 3. So now scene is composed of these 3 elements. Okay, when we come at the third index, then we have to sort of check whether our scene data structure contains the element or not, right? So what we can do is that, okay, if at all the number is in scene, that means if we have seen the element, we can simply return true, right? And else, if this whole drama is done, we will return false, that no element has been duplicated. Now in this scenario, we can use a hash set or a set in Python instead of using a list, because hash set have O of 1 complexity lookups, that is constant lookups. So we'll just change this to a set. Okay, so the core logic lied in looking at the list and sort of checking whether it has occurred once or not. So we have a scene is equal to set for number in numbers. We will check if the number is in scene. If at all we have seen it, we return true. And we also have to append whatever we have seen already. So we add it onto our list, onto our hash set, because it has O of 1 complexity lookup. And if at all it has passed all the cases, we return false because we haven't seen the element, right? Okay. Feel free to ask doubts in case you get stuck. I've already solved these questions, so I might have a faster pace than you. Anyways, next is valid anagram. We're given 2 strings, S and T, and we need to return true if these 2 strings are anagrams of each other. Now what's an anagram? Anagram is a string that contains the exact same characters as another string, but the order can be different. Okay, so in race car and car race, we can see that the alphabets used are the same. To approach this problem, we can use something called a frequency mapping. Okay, let's just copy this. So amongst one of the methods, we can sort them. Okay, once we sort these strings S and T, it would lead to a similar sort of string for both these strings, and we can just check for equality, but this will take n log n steps. So we can notice that in these 2 variables or strings, the frequency is common. So we'll work about with the frequency equality. Okay, so frequency, right? Okay, let's just start with frequency first. So frequency is equal to 26 letters. So for S1 comma T1 in a zip of S comma T, we will take the frequency and we have to take the order ORD of A minus ORD of S1 and we'll increment that with 1. Now I've taken one frequency map. You could take two and check for equality, but for the space complexity, decrementing whatever has gotten incremented by S1 would be a better approach. Once this is done, we will be leading with something like 0, 0, 0 till 26 sort of letters, if at all the frequency is nullified, right? Now to find that out, we will just return all if all values is equal to 0 for value in frequency. Okay, fine. Let's run this. Submit. Okay, so if at all T is not the same size as S, that means the frequency can never be equal. So we have to write that edge case as well. So if the length of S is not equal to length of T, we will simply return false. Okay, next question. To sum. We're given an array of integers and an integer target. Okay. We have to return the indices I and j such that the nums of I plus nums of j is equal to our target. And I is not supposed to be equal to j. Okay. So we can assume that every input has exactly one pair that satisfies the condition. We have to return the smaller index first. Okay. So let's remove this first. This is what is given. Now we will have a for loop. We will go across the numbers. So for 0 to length of nums. Okay. For every element, we can do something to sort of help us with the target. Maybe we can find the complement. So complement will be target minus the number nums of I. Okay. If at all we have seen this complement, what does that mean if we have seen the complement? Let's say we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have reached at 0th index, that is 3. Alright, and then we store the complement, which is 4. Okay, so have we seen 4? One second, I think I'm getting confused. Wait, if complement isn't seen, let's try run this first. We have 3, 4, 5, 6. At first iteration, this is different from all of this. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. First iteration, we will have 3. inside of our scene. So scene will be equal to 3. Our complement will be equal to 4. Have we seen 4 inside of our scene? No, we have not. So if we have seen the complement, we have to return the smaller index first. So tell me, complement will have a smaller index or the nums of I will have the smaller index? You see, if we have seen the complement, that means it's shorter than I, right? So I will come last and we will have complement. How do you get the index of a number in Python? Nums.index of complement. Okay, let's implement this. This is somewhat close. Target minus nums of I. Yes, I'm sorry. Right, thank you. Return nums of index complement. Okay, and we return I because that is coming later on. And we also have to go on adding on to our list. HashSet, sorry. So scene dot add. What will we add here? Will we add the complement or nums of I? So we will go on adding nums of I and not the complement because we will be computing the complement at every iteration, right? So let's suppose you added the complement itself. Okay, then scene. So I'll just write the test case here. Wait. So scene and is getting added. If complement is getting added to scene, then this will be 4. Okay, at the next iteration we see 4 and we say that, oh, we have seen it. Okay, but that's wrong, right? Because then it will compute the index to be as 1, 1, which is why we will be adding the nums of I, because we are going on seeing the element and we are checking if the complement has been seen already. Okay, let's start with the solution. Oh, because I'm quite familiar with Python, that's why I'm not using C++. Where were we at? Right, okay. So, what am I supposed to do? For num I comma val n enumerate nums. We need a scene hash set for O of 1 complexity, and okay, we have to find the complement, where complement will be target minus v, where v is number. I'll just replace this with num just for the sake of understanding. Okay, now if complement is in scene, we return nums dot index of complement comma I, and we go on adding the number to the scene that we are going on seeing the number. And yeah, that's about it, because it says that we can assume that every input will have exactly 1 pair, so we don't need to add the extra return outside. Let's run this. Okay, great. Longest common prefix. We're given an array of strings. We have to return the longest common prefix of all the strings. If there is no longest common prefix, we can just return the empty string. Okay. So we have these strings and we have to return the longest common prefix, that is BA, BA, BA in all these scenarios. Okay. Let's copy this first. Okay. Now one way can be that if we sort this, okay, then you can see that BA, sort this lexicographically. Okay, lexicographically, but you get the point. Okay, so what this would do is it'll take BAT, BAG, comma BAT, comma band, and then bank. Okay, why? Because G comes before T. Okay, and N is common in N and N, both band and bank, and D comes before K. Okay, so if we sorted this, we would just have to compare the first string and the last string, because whatever prefix that has to be there common amongst all of these will remain common. It's just that the dissimilar elements have to be compared. So we will just compare bag is equal to bank. Okay, but again, this is sorting, so sorting would take n log n steps, so we cannot approach this problem in that manner. So how do we deal with this? Okay, I guess I've forgotten the solution. Let me just rethink. Bag, bank, band. Okay. Can I get any tips? Yes, we can use sorting, but it will take n log n steps, and we can compare the first and the last string. But again, n log n steps is not desirable for this. But that's again one of the approaches. Yes. Let me think. I'm getting blank. Okay. Bag, bank, band. Okay. If I use a while loop. Wait, no. Longest common prefix. Okay, so I will take a base case wherein I will just consider any element amongst these to be the base scenario. Okay, so it will be strings of 0, for instance, and what I'll do is that I'll compare every sort of word with this element. Or something better could be that I take the minimum of these strings, but I guess taking the minimum would increase the complexity because I'm checking the minimum of an entire list. So taking the minimum is not the best solution for this. But what I was thinking is that if I get the smallest length of the word to be compared with the remaining, it will be easier for me. But anyways, I've taken a base. I'll go across these strings for string and strings. Okay. it cannot be n log n steps, so I have to go lesser than n log n steps, maybe within n steps, but I need another while loop because I have to compare it. Okay, for string and strings, now I have to get inside each of these. Can we use this? I is greater than length of s, or s is not equal to I is greater than equal to length of s. Okay, wait, let me just type that out. Okay, or if s of I is not equal to yes, that's about very close to the solution, and then we can return the sliced version of it. Yes, you're right. Okay, good job. Right. Let me just do it like this for I in range. What am I doing? Okay, string in strings. Now I take each string. I need I as well. Okay, wait. But will I be inside of a while loop? Okay, let's just see. I'm getting confused. And while I is lesser than equal to length of the string, okay, or why do you need or? Why are you not using and in this scenario? And anyways, that's a minute sort of minimal bug. Or if the string of I is not equal to, okay, I've taken the inverse conditions. Use for. Okay. This will be length of minimum of length of base, comma, length of string. Is that right? Okay. Okay. But I mean, do you have to check for the entire thing? If you can just check it till the minimum of these. Let me see. If this does not work, I'll revert to that. So now if I is greater than the length of s, that means you have to end it. Or if, okay, or if the string of I is not equal to base of I, then we can simply return the prefix. So prefix will be, can be base of till I, right? Yes, okay. Seems fine. We have to return empty string, right? This is, what did I do? Okay, string. If all the strings are equal, we have to return. That seems like an edge case, right? Okay, maybe if I remove this minimum thing that I've done, but that shouldn't matter. Wait, I think it's because of that. Hold on, wait. I'm getting empty string here. That means it's returning beforehand. So if I is less than, if I is greater than length of string or equal, right? It'll never be equal, but if it okay, it has to be equal as well. Min length of base and length of string, okay. It doesn't handle empty input either. Okay, so I'll set it as okay. So return, if not string, then we return empty. No, but if not string, then we return empty. If it has traversed this for loop and if it has not come to any of the values, can I just return base if no? Yeah, because the last part would have an empty string. Okay, let's look at this properly. We take a base, we go across the strings, we take the minimum of this and this, and we traverse only till that much. I'm not sure how you can share the code here. Maybe just copy paste. I don't think there is any code block that you can do. Yes, it does not indent, right? It's fine, any tip would help because I cannot open the link, Abhinav. We loop across this. Okay. Oh, sorry. And the thing is, we have only passed 6 cases, so okay. Base is equal to wait, 1 second. I think we can structure this as something like this. We will slice the base and store the sliced version, and in the end we can just return the base because the base would have gotten sliced out, right? So let me check this. Index out of range, of course. Wait. Index out of range. The base probably got sliced way too many times. Okay, wait. Res is equal to empty string. We can store this here and then return this. I'm looping over strings instead of strings. One. Oh, yes, you're right. Is that the reason why? I think, okay. I've added my code as well over here. Let me see if it breaks it. D. Okay, I think it's not working as expected. That's one part of it. Okay. If string of I is not equal to base of I, that means it's a character mismatch. Then we return this. Okay, and we'll what, break it? I tried that. I'll show you. And we'll just return. Okay, we can just return empty. We'll return base. Okay. See, it'll give me index out of range with this. That means the base has gotten sliced way too many times. So we also have to check the length of, I have to do base here, I guess. Let me see. Okay, 12 cases passed. That's progress. We are failing at ABC, ABCD and this empty string. My output is ABC. Oh, okay. It should be empty. If I just make this empty. No, of course. Yeah, okay. If any of the string is empty, it should not even execute. If I is greater than the length of base, or a string of I is not. I think I have to do it for both of these, right? No, wait. If we have to set the base as soon as we are about to encounter a number which is not equivalent to whatever we want. So this and this. I'm thinking, should it be an AND condition? If it has crossed the length of base. Hi, I'm a third year UG learning backend and parallelly started kernels, Java, data, DSA playlist. Can I do both concurrently or focus more on DSA for now? Your suggestions. Hi. So you've started backend and you have also started DSA playlist. So I have 5 years of experience, and as per that I regret not having a mentor who told me to practice DSA more. Both DSA and projects are important, so prioritize them in the same manner. After the enough for loop, you can add the space is equal to min and baseline string. You mean over here? Base is equal to base. Slice, you're slicing as per the base or the length of the string. But we already have that here, right? I think I is already covering that because our range starts from this. If we do that, it will beat the purpose of this I itself, because we're not using I at all. Right. Why is it giving ABC? It takes over the first string, okay, then it checks with the next string. Now I, that is 0, is okay, I mean its length of base is 3. 0 is greater than, it has to take the minimum of length of base and the length of string. That means the length is 0, right? So it executes one time. 0 is lesser than the length of, it's because of this. Wait. So we have this. 0 is lesser than the length of base. 0 is lesser than 3. Then we need an AND condition, right? No, we need or itself. Okay. And string of 0 is not equal to base of I. So if 0 is less than, wait, 0 is less than 3, or what is this, empty string is not equal to A. Okay. So it'll slice at the 0. So it should be empty. You want to use a list, as in split the ABC and do it. But I mean, even with the list, you'll slice it, right? So it should not make a difference. Yes, the condition has to fail. But when it's failing, it should store it as the empty one. Because you're technically slicing ABC as something like this. So it should be empty, but it's not going empty. Okay, I is equal to 0 where it was a while loop, right? Okay, let's first see if a while loop can help this better. Now since we are changing the base, right? Okay, now see, since we're changing the base at every iteration, whenever the condition fails, we're not supposed to use a for loop. So I think it's a while loop that we have to use. Yeah, because we're changing this. So it might affect the for loop in the next iteration. So this approach was not right. Let's try yours. Wait. Okay. I can do this as well, right, in while loop. Well, I in range this. Can I do this? I've never tried this. Should work because it'll execute while it's in the range. Anyways, and base of I is equal to string. Okay. Wait. Base of I. We have to sort of go on incrementing I and it looks very ugly, but okay, fine. So if it's in this range and if the base of I is equal to the string of I, that is if the characters are equal, this has to go on while the characters are equal. Okay, we will set base is equal to base sliced I along with I plus 1. We're not returning it, but we are decreasing the base. Okay. Is it because of my range? Okay, I just thought it might work. Because again, it's range, right? Thought it would work. Anyways, while I is less than the length of base, and I is also less than the length of string, and base of I is equal to the string, then we'll go on slicing it and we'll increase this. Okay. Let me use my brain. I've been relying on you for too long. Where am I going wrong? Okay. If it is equal, we slice it. I don't think we're supposed to slice if it's equal. You mean like this? What about the while loop then? Line 8 is right. Try moving line 8 to line 10 but indented outside. Okay. Okay, like this. So we have incremented to see till how much ever characters match, and then we took a slice. Okay, makes sense. Yay! That's great. I did not solve this, but okay. I messed up when I was using a for loop. So this for loop approach was entirely wrong because we were incrementing and changing the base. Not incrementing, we were changing the base and we were using it in for loop. That should have striked me to use a while loop. I think it's suggested to start with a while loop, but I got confused when you said to use a for loop instead. I'm not blaming it on you, but I should have been more confident. And this is fine as long as we are having equality in the characters. We go on incrementing and then we slice. In the next iteration, if at all it's not equal, we slice again. Fine. Okay. Group anagrams, something more simpler for now. So we have anagrams and we have to group them together. Okay. We have dealt with anagrams before and we had solved them using the frequency approach. I don't think this requires me to draw anything. We'll straight away start with this. So what I'm thinking is I will form a dictionary. No, I don't stream daily, but this is my first stream. Planning to stream daily, but I would require solving problems beforehand. So let's see, maybe same time. if you want to join again tomorrow. So what I'm thinking is frequency as the key and the list of these words as the values. That's about it. Let's start. So frequency map is equal to default dictionary of the type list. So what this does is that it will form dictionary and it will have the values as a list. Now for s in strings, I have to compute the frequency. So this, let me name this as anagram map. So frequency here will be equal to, again, the character frequency till 26 characters. Now if not if, sorry, what am I doing? For ch and s, we go across each characters and we compute its frequency in this manner using ORD. And since it's all lowercase, we can simply do it like this, of ch plus is equal to 1. Okay, now mind you, in a dictionary you cannot add list as your tuple since it is mutable. Keys are supposed to be immutable. So what we'll do is we will take the anagram map and we will convert this into a tuple, the frequency, and we will append, since the value was a list, we will append the word onto the list. Okay, and then we can just return list of anagram map dot values. Let's see. Okay, great. Next question. Remove element. We're given an integer array nums and an integer value. We have to remove all occurrences of val from the numbers in place. Okay. After removing all occurrences of value, return the number of remaining elements. Let's look at the values first. We have numbers, we have value as 1. What am I supposed to do with 1? Okay, I have to remove 1 entirely from this numbers and it has to happen in place. Okay. Let return such that the first k element does not contain val. The order does not, which are not equal to, okay, order does not matter, and it is not necessary to consider elements beyond the first k positions to be accepted. First k should contain only elements that are not equal to the value. Fine. Okay, we have to remove 1 from this. Okay, probably slicing something. No, slicing might not work in this scenario. Okay. K is equal to 5 as we have 5 elements which are not equal to value is equal to 2. Okay. In place. Okay, nothing is striking me right now. keep scrolling here and there. Fine. So for number in nums, but first I don't think I should use a for loop here if I will be removing items. It has to be in place. Can I shift it? First key elements of nums must contain only elements not equal to value. I think I'll try shifting this. So for number or for I in range length of nums. Okay, let me take, I was thinking of taking k is equal to 0. Why? Because I want to sort of shift and move the elements whenever they encounter the value. Okay, so if nums of I is equal to the value, I need to do something now. If it is equal to the value, then nums of k will be equal to nums of I. What am I doing? Wait, k is 0. I think this is not a good example to, wait, let me try with this. Okay, so now here k is 0 and nums of I, it will store whatever is in nums of I if at all it is equal to. If it's not equal to the value, we will go on storing this. Okay, that sounds better. Nums of k, okay, and I will do k plus is equal to 1. Now let me just print this. Okay, 2, 3, 4, where is the example? Yeah, I think it's about it. Yeah, so 2, 3, 4 is right. So the problem was that we have to consider the first 3 elements here, because after removal we just check for the top k. Where was it? The first k elements must contain only elements that are not equal to the val, right? So yeah, this is about it. Now we need to find the length. Okay, so I can just return k, right? Yeah, let's run this. Oh, I did it. Okay, fine. So in this question we sort of shifted the elements whenever they were not equal to the value, and since they did not care about the remaining elements sort of in this manner, where did it go? Wait, I'll just run this once again. Since it did not care about the next set of appending of the elements onto the list, wait a second, right, since this was not of the concern, we could simply return k and have the numbers in place with the elements removed. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Majority element. Okay, we're given an array nums of size n, we have to return the majority element. Okay, so here the majority is 5. Here the majority is 2. Okay. Majority element is the element that appears more than n by 2 times in the array. You can assume that it always exists. Okay. Majority element. I'm thinking we have to compute the frequency mapping of this. Can you solve the problem in linear time and O of 1 space? Okay, the frequency mapping, if at all I do that, it'll end up in not O of 1 space, it'll be O of n then. So without frequency mapping. This is again like an in-place problem. Let's see. Linear time. O of n. This is constant. Okay, so constant space linear time. I can have a for loop. Of course, fine. So I'll take something like k is equal to nums of 0, something like a base thing that I did last time. So if the base is nums of 0, okay, and I go across the for loop. So this is constant space now for num in nums. If I have to sort of compute the frequency mapping anyhow. Wait. If I do something like this, let me do a voting algorithm. Okay. Now I know this just because I've done this before. Okay, the voting algorithm, how does it work? I'll show you that. So for every element I encounter, let's say I've encountered the initial 2 5s, the next element will nullify the whatever score I've gotten for these two. Okay, and then this will get nullified, and then the last ending element, that is 5, will win, because the remaining elements have nullified the scores of each other. That makes sense. Okay, let's see how we can approach this. So okay, I need a voting algorithm. Okay, for number in nums, let me just type out whatever I've thought. 5 will give me +1. 1 will give me -1. Okay. If no, but how do I know how many different elements are there? Okay, right. So now if let's say I had 2, 2 as well, then no, I think, wait, the majority element is the element that appears more than n by 2 times in the array. What will be the status of 2? How will 2 vote for this? I'm just considering that is not the scenario at all. Maybe I'm missing something in the question. Trying to see if they can have more than 2 elements in this nums, 2 different type of elements. Fine, let me just implement the logic for this first. If number in nums, I cannot even keep a track of the numbers. let's just keep a base number. Okay, now if number is equal to base, then we will do k plus is equal to 1. So k is equal to 0 in the start. Okay, I think this might not work with more than 2 different type of values. If number is equal to base, we will increment k, else we will decrement k. Okay, fine. No, there seems to be a major flaw in this. It'll only work for 2 values in the list, or maybe 1. If k is greater than 0, we'll return the base. No, what am I doing? Wait. This voting algorithm is perfect, but I'm not able to understand how to implement that. This n by 2 is not of any help to me, right? How many questions have we done? Okay, we haven't done much. Hi Tanishq, how are you? I'm stuck in this problem. Needed some time to just refresh my mind. Can I just remove elements with this voting algorithm? Then I'll be left with that one element which has occurred with a positive score. I'm from India and I'm not a college student, I'm a graduate a working professional. Where are you from? Back in my college days, I never used to like LeetCode, but now as a working professional and wanting to clear interviews, this seems like a mandate thing. So I never had LeetCode questions in my interviews, but now they're popping up all of a sudden, so here I am. If I pop these elements, but on what basis would I pop them? Oh, that's a tier 1 college, right? That's nice. Are you a graduate too? Wait, I think I'll keep a track of whatever number I'm encountering. Okay, so for k, let k be equal to nums of 0. For number in nums. Okay, that's nice. It's good to start fresh with these LeetCode questions since college. You will have a better base once you... Oh, for me, I've done somewhat like 30 questions. So you can help me with this, right? Can you give me any hints for this? I've done almost like 30 questions, maybe lesser than that. And I have a habit of forgetting the patterns, so I like revising. Number in nums if I just need to somehow keep a track of whatever number is happening in these lists. Not able to figure this out. I think you should go to Strive or DSA sheet. That is very good. I mean, yes, DSA sheets, different ones have different sort of flow. I like to use LeetCode 250 because just personal reasons. I think the flow sits better one after the other. I find the difficulty increasing gradually. And since I'm a starter, so I think LeetCode 250 is fine. Yeah. But thanks for the suggestion. Can you help me with this problem? It's not equal to k. O of one space. If it's not equal to k, then I'll set k as number. Okay. I'll keep switching then. No, this is wrong. Okay, what about maps? Like dictionary? The HashMap? Yeah, I was thinking to use a HashMap, but it says O of one space. It wants constant space. I have the logic set with me, so if I encounter 5, I'll increase it with +1 score, else I'll decrease it with a -1 score, and whatever persists with the higher score will win. But the logic is set, I'm not able to implement that. I know I'll use a for loop, not a while loop, but not able to work out the next steps. This is called Murray something algorithm, Murray voting algorithm. I remember all these unnecessary details about these questions and not the problem itself. Okay. How do I do this? I want to just keep popping elements and then be left with whatever there is. Let me do that, wait. While I is less than the length of nums. If k is not equal to the nums of I have to also do I plus is equal to 1. Okay, so if it's not equal to the nums of I, we will score, but the score has to have some okay, this is the score for k. Set it as 0. If it's not equal, then I'll decrement the score, else I'll increment the score. Just print the score for me. Oh, I forgot to initialize. Wait. I is equal to 0. Okay. Score is 1. 1 stands for 5. Okay, that's right. Score is 3. But, okay, fine. Instead of doing this, let me try popping the elements. Because I need to return the value of the element that has occurred the majority times. So if score is negative, I'll do something. I'll set nums is equal to nums of, I'll just slice it out. So it'll slice from I to the last one here. So if it's, wait a second, no this is wrong, no. If I have this, okay, it's right here, fine. Let me just mix it up. Okay. No, I don't code every night, but I'm thinking to start and build a habit of coding every night and every morning. I'm not sure about morning live streams because I work after that. But yeah, I might start coding every night because My biology teacher, she once told me that whatever you learn before you go to sleep and after you wake up, it persists with you for a long time. So yeah. Can anybody help me with this? I don't want to check the solution, it'll hurt my ego. Any hints are fine. I'm thinking of removing elements. So I've sliced it out. Whatever I encounter which is not equal to my base value. But I feel like it'll also remove this. But if it removes that, it's evident because one nullifies the 5 here. But I'll also remove the remaining ones. No, this is wrong. Okay. Let's just think that whatever is done, and let's just consider that they will only give 2 different numbers at one go. Let me just return. I know it will not work, but I'll return k if score is greater than 0. Else it'll be the other number, but how would I find that? No, this is not working. Had they not asked for this, I would have used a frequency mapping. It would have been way more easier. This gets so I go across the numbers, okay, and I will keep k as equal to, no, let that be as it is. If k is not equal to nums of I want to decrease the score. I'm thinking of ending the live stream because not able to solve this. But of course, I won't leave you hanging. So I'll check the solution since I've been stuck on this problem for too long. Where is the other one? Yes, this was the voting algorithm that I was trying to apply. And let's just look at the algorithm and check where we messed up. We initialized res as the candidate and count as equal to 0. Okay, we did that for each element. If the count is 0, you set the result as a number. Okay. If number is equal to res, the increment count is. Okay, wait. So, wait. For number in nums, okay. If my score is equal to 0, then k will be equal to the number. That means the values have got nullified. Okay. And if at all the number is equal to k, we will increment the count, that is, we will increment the score, else we will decrement the score. Okay, so we had to use a for loop for this and not a while loop. I mean, I thought of using a while loop because I was expecting to remove items, but the trick was this specific code. So whenever score would be 0, we have to reset the value of k. Okay, and then we'll just return k. Let's run this. Okay. So the algorithm was right. I messed up in the part where I was supposed to assign the value of k with the number whenever the score reached 0. Now why is that so? Now look at this. We have 1. Wait. The first two ones would end up with 2. The next 5 would nullify 1. Okay. The next one would nullify 5. Wait, this is not the best way of doing this. Let me just okay. So okay, we have 1, 1, 5. These two nullify each other. These two nullify each other. These two nullify each other. Okay, and these two nullify each other, right? So we're left with 1 as the majority. The part where we changed the value of k with the num was because the score got neutralized. So now we can take up the next value as the k and proceed with the score. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Design hash set without using any built-in hash table. Okay, we cannot use hash set or hash map here. We have to add, contains and remove. Okay, so if you add, it'll add for you. Okay, so since we want to use something different than a hash map or a hash set, but something replicating it, we need to take care of O of 1 complexity, because hash map and hash set, they work at constant complexity, right? For lookups and for for lookups as well as for addition. So I'm thinking to use a constant sort of list with add contains remove. Okay, let me just initialize this with true then. Let's see, wait. Add will insert a key inside of the hash set. Like, okay, let's look at this. So this will add 1, this will add 2. Now set will contain 1 and 2. Using this true might not be best. We'll use 0 then. Okay. And since it will contain these many keys at one go, we will set it as this, an extra 1 because of the indexing. Okay. Now, so this will lead to O of 1 complexity. We have to add now. So I can just set self of data and I'll set 1. Wait, what? You have to add 1. Okay. So data dot, okay, sorry, I have to append. No, I'm not supposed to append. Wait. Okay, so now I'll set this as add remove contains. If suppose I kept this as true, okay, or let's say false, okay, and if I had to add some element, I can simply go to the key and set it as true, right? Yes, of course. So what I'm thinking is all these elements, so how much ever numbers there are here, we have that many falses, okay, and whenever we get a key, we set that value amongst these list of falses as true. To remove the element, we will just instantiate it to false again, so the key will be equal to false. Okay, and to check if it contains, we can just return if that specific key is true. Okay, yeah, let's run this. Okay, great. Next question, we have to design a hash map. Okay, we again cannot use any built-in hash table. We have to have put, get and remove. In put, you add it as a list. Okay, the map is now 1, 1, 2, 2. Get, so get 1 will return 1. The map is now 1, 1, 2, 2. If there's no element, it will return -1, 2, 1. Okay, fine. Okay, so I think we can implement this similar to what we had done before, but we'll set it as 0 and we'll have how many elements? Okay, okay, now when we have to put some value, we can do cell.data key is equal to the value. Okay, and when we have to get something, we can fetch it by return self.data key. To remove, we can set it back to 0. No, just self.data. key will be equal to 0, and we can run this. Okay, -1. Where here? Okay, so we can just set it as -1 then, if that's their base case. Okay, let's run this. Perfect. Submit. Okay. Sort an array. Oh, great. Is anyone there in the live stream? I'll continue for 20 more minutes and then I'll sign off. I guess I'm all alone then, fine. So, we're given an array of integers. We have to sort it in ascending order and return it. You cannot use any built-in functions in O of n log n time complexity and the smallest space complexity possible. So in this scenario, we can use merge sort, quick sort, and heap sort. We'll move ahead with merge sort. Okay. And the way merge sort works is that you divide and conquer it. So if suppose we had this, let me keep a smaller list. Wait. So if suppose we had 1, 3, 0, 8, okay, in the next step this would break it down as 1, 3, okay, wait. 1, 3 and 0, 8. We'll then go on breaking this down until we reach the smallest element which cannot be sorted in itself. So the smallest element which can be sorted in itself, sorry. So you cannot sort 1, 3, 0 and 8 individually, right? That's why we will now go on merging these. I'll just use a pen, wait. Okay. So now we'll merge these. We'll merge the right halves. 1 and 3, which is greater, so it will come up as 1, 3. Okay. And this will come up as 0, 8. We will then compare the left and the right halves again. So we'll check 1 and 0, and then we'll finally end up with the list, which is 0, 1, 3, 8. So this is merge sort. Sorry. This is merge sort. It might seem complicated, but the solution is rather easier. We split the list into two halves. If the list count is 5, if it has 5 elements, then it will be split as 2, 3 or 3, 2 as you wish. We'll go on dividing the list till it reaches this base element of single value, and then we'll go on merging them. Okay, let's look at the implementation. So I solved this problem 2 days back, and I don't like merge sort because it's a lot of memorization of steps. I just never liked algorithms. But okay, fine. So we need a divide function. Okay, that takes nums, fine. And we need a conca function. that again takes nums. Okay. Now while we are dividing, I'll just open this in the side. Okay, then I cannot see this. Fine, it's okay. When we're dividing, let me just do this. Okay. Now, how do we divide this? We take the mid is equal to length of nums and the floor division by 2. We take the left half, so the left half is what? It is, and we go on dividing the left half, okay? So the left half will be nums of all the values till the mid, okay? So it will be the left section of it. And the right half, we'll go on dividing the left and the right half, okay? So the right half will have all the values that start from middle to the end. Okay, I hope that's clear. Then we have to conquer it. Okay, and then we'll return conquer. So conquer will have not nums, it will have left and right, because you have to conquer the left and the right halves. Okay, left comma right. That's about it for the divide section. Okay, we are finding the middle, we are forming left half, right half, and this is a recursive function, so we'll go on finding the smallest element in the left half, smallest element in the right half. Okay, and in this conquer part, it'll do the matter of merging them. So now conquer. Okay. How do I conquer this? I have to merge it. Okay, I will need I have to go across each element and compare them. While left of, wait, I'll set I as equal to 0. What is I? I will take care of the index. So while I is less than the length of, no, what am I doing? Wait. Yeah, while I is less than the length of left, I'm sort of checking for both scenarios. While I is and it is less than the length of right. Feel like I'm doing useless steps now. Okay, then I have to take and check if left of I is greater than right of I. Then I have to merge it, right? So I need another list. Res is equal to list. So res dot append left of I. Okay, I'm appending left of, wait, this is merging, wait, okay, so I'll append this first and then I'll append right of I. No, I think I'm messing something up. We have to merge two lists while sorting them. Okay, let's just say we have to merge 1, 3 and 0, 8. Okay. If I do this, it'll never sort of fill the list, because it'll fill only midway. How many more questions do we have? Okay, fine. This is fine. I'm facing difficulty in merging it. Anyone can help me? I see 4 people in the stream, 5 now. I need another resultant list. If this is the scenario, I'll append this. While I think I need ing. Okay, now what is on my mind? I'm hoping to sort of have different pointers for left and the right. Okay. Now, feel like I'm going in the right direction. If at all the j element of the right sort of j element is greater than the value of the left element, I will append the left element and increase this. Okay, else I will append the right element and increase j pointer, that is the right pointer. Okay, and then I can maybe return res. I want to see the value of res once. Okay, this is done, divide is done. In the end I just do divide and I pass nums and I have to return this. Okay, let's just run this once. I'll print, it'll show me anyways, fine. Let's run this. Okay. Okay, I think I forgot to do something. This is done. Max depth reached with the while loop, of course. It's in this section. Nums of middle divide. What's the matter with this? Probably messed up something here. Let me see. Okay, it won't output anything. Divide nums of values till the middle. That's right. If I alternate this, it will throw error in the right half. Yeah, okay. Fine. So I have to go on dividing. Ah, yes, the most important part of this. If the length of nums is equal to 1, what am I supposed to return? I need to return nums, right? So that's the part where you get these individual small elements. Okay, fine. Wrong. What? Okay. Why does my res have individual elements like that? I'm appending these. See, if I've added the left element, I wanted to check the next element with J. Okay. Same goes the other way around. But apparently it's not appending, or why is the res? Okay, it's giving me for individual sections. Let me see this again. But it should break down in a different manner. This is not the way. One. j is equal to n minus 1. Yeah, I'm doing merge sort and apparently I've forgotten the algorithm. J is equal to n minus 1. Oh yes, because it's the right half. Right. It'll be... no. J... wait, but right is having its own set of lists, right? Left pointer at start, right must be at end. So I've made left pointer for the left half. I've done this part for the middle. I've taken this, taken the right half, taken the left half, and I'm trying to conquer it. This part is fine, right? Integer overflow. I think this would handle the integer overflow, right? I'm not getting any error, but this part is messing up and the solution is not right. So I have this sort of example being replayed here. I have this left half with 1 and 3, right half with 0 and 8. I thought I would keep separate pointers for the left half, separate pointers for the right half. Compare those two and go on appending. But what I'm getting is this. When I'm printing this, I get this, which does not seem to be what I wanted. I think it's overwriting res at every iteration. Yeah, I think I should maintain this somewhere else, but not sure. Let me print res and left and right. No? Which condition? What is this? Well, I stuck in the length of left. You append. Okay. Oh right, we have to extend this. Yes, because we have to extend the remaining elements. Wait, yeah, you're right. What is this? Okay, wait. Ouch. लेफ्ट एंड राइट को लास्ट में मर्ज भी तो करना है. Yeah, I extended this part, right? I've merged this here. Do I have to do I plus is equal to 1 and j plus incrementation? I think I'm spacing out now. Should I give up? But I've extended this, right? Left, I've added the remaining elements of left and the right halves. I and j. What am I missing? See. Something is wrong. I've taken the right half, left half by the middle. So middle, whatever comes after middle is right, whatever comes before the middle is left. And I've tried to conquer it. Okay, I'm gonna give up. Okay, and I'm gonna look at the solution because I think I've spaced out now. So merge sort here. What was I messing up? If the subarray has 1 or 0 elements, it is already sorted. Yeah, I've done that. You find the middle index and recursively sort the left half to middle and right half. Okay, this is also done. You merge the two sorted halves. This is the part which I'm not able to get. You create temporary arrays for left and right portions. Differently? Temporary. Okay, you compare elements and copy any remaining elements. I've done this part. Okay. I had to divide only, right? Because the divide has concat logic as well. Compare elements from both arrays and place the smaller one into the result. Instructions are unclear. I messed up the code. Okay, checking the code because not understanding stuff. Okay. Oh, I'm not supposed to return anything here? Okay. I have the left and the right half. Okay, this part is also as it is. Even this part is as it is. Even this part is as it is. Why the incrementing I? Oh, I think I forgot that. They're incrementing I. Right. This is for the extending part. J and K. You know what, I'll just look at my previous submitted solution because I'm not able to understand this solution. So, wait. I've defined a resultant list. Is it because of that? Okay, checking the previous solution. Okay, fine. We have resultant list. Okay. Even this is right, even this is right. What messed up? All of it is right. Ah, this. It was the indentation. My god. Okay. No. Wait, I think I messed up this indentation. No, return. This is fine. Turnums. That is okay. I and J. Okay. J is greater than length of right, fine. If this is less, we append left and we increase I. Else we append J and we increase with the right one. Okay. We extend I and extend J and we return the result. We return indentation. No. Can someone help me? I'm looking at the solution. It's matching. No, I don't know. It's still there, right? You know what, I'll just copy this and I'll paste this here. Oh. No, wait. Well, oh, this has to be outside. I give up. I'm such a bad programmer. Yeah, guys, it's fixed now. So I did not notice the while loop. We were supposed to extend whatever elements that were there after the while loop ended. But apparently I was extending them in the while loop itself. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Okay. I have to sort colors now. Fine. So we have these color encoding. 0 is for red, 1 is for white, 2 is for blue. There will only ever be these three. So we have these nums. And what do we have to do? We have to sort the array in place such that the elements of the same color are grouped together and arranged in the order. Okay. Fine. How do I sort this? Any restrictions? One pass algorithm using only constant extra space. Okay. Fine. So I have an approach. Might not be. What is DNF algo? Yes, this is the Dutch national flag one. And I think I won't be applying that because I don't remember. But I'll share my approach. I will find the frequency count of each of these. And then I'll again, sort of create the list and, present it. Is that the Dutch national flag algo? Yes, right. So for number and nums. Constant extra space. I have to keep a count of all of it, right? So frequency is equal to 0 times 3. But this won't be constant space. Constant extra space. Not sure. Will this be constant extra space? I think so. Frequency of the number plus is equal to 1. Once I find that, okay. Once this is done, I will go across. I'll go across what? The frequency. No, don't need a while loop. I'll deal with the for loop itself. So, okay, my array would change in size, so I need a for loop, a while loop, sorry. So, while I is less than the length of nums, I need to form the frequency. I need to override nums of I with How do I separately add these? Nums of I will start getting the values of the frequency. So I'm zoning out, I guess. I don't need a while loop. I'm worried about while loop and for loop. For number. Yeah, you gave me the entire solution. Okay, count is equal to 0, count 1 is equal to 0, count 2 is equal to 0, okay. Now for I 0 to n minus 1, if okay, you increment, you sort of created a frequency map in the start, then well, count 1 is greater than 0, you set it as 1. You should be glad I'm this dumb. तुम्हारा revision हो गया. I mean, I'm not able to understand the solution because oh, okay, you're separately incrementing it. Got it. Fine. So I will. Solution seems dirty, I think, but fine. I got the gist of it. But I think it can be optimized, at least in terms of the looks, I think. Anyways, it will be the same one pass algorithm. What do they mean by one pass algorithm? Okay, so this would look something like this. At the 0th position, I'll have all the frequency of 0. So for this scenario, oh, okay, it's fine. Thanks though. इतना dedication है. So for this, right, 0 has occurred 1 time, 1 has occurred 2 times, 2 has occurred 1 time. So this is sort of the mapping of 0, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, we can traverse it only once. Got it. Fine. So now I have go across the frequency. So I is equal to 0, while I is less than the length of frequency. I mean, it'll anyways be 3 always, but fine. No, this might spoil certain things. Let's see. Okay, well, this is less than the frequency. I hope I solve it before you. Okay, while it's less than the frequency, I will take nums and I, and I'll set this as, no, this cannot be this, it has to be this, and I'll set nums of I if frequency of, I need 2 variables, I feel, need 3 variables, I, j and k. Okay. If frequency of, what am I doing? Nums of I is equal to well, count to is greater than 0. Okay. Frequency of 0. Oh my god, yeah. Low is 0, mid is 0, high is n minus 1. Is that the Dutch algorithm? Wait, what am I saying? This is colors. Yeah. You came up with a different algorithm, bro. You're swapping values. I think I need sleep. Right. The Dutch algorithm, I think it's different, right? No? Okay. I mean, there is no need to swap, we can automatically override the nums. If I can't solve within the next 9 minutes, I'll look at the code, okay? Because I'm guessing it's pretty late, so. Yes, I thought DNF would look something different. I thought in DNF you count the frequency and then you again override the number thing with the Okay, I'll stick with this frequency thing because it seems easier to understand. Just the implementation, I'm facing trouble in that. Iterating loop by loop, okay, fine, I'll do that. So for number, right, for I in length of frequency 0, nums of I equals what, 0. Zeroth element, yeah, okay. And you mean to say that I'll do this for the remaining sort of, and change this to 1, this to 2, this to 1 and this to 2. Is that right? Is that what you were saying? What else do I need to do? Okay, I have to return this. Int has no length. Ah, of course, yes. I've forgotten the syntax of range as well. My god. Okay. My output was 2112. How come? Okay, if this is I, then this has to be I plus frequency of, no, I have to append it. No, wait, I plus frequency, it's a very dirty code, 0. No, this is very buddy, these two loops are wrong. How is, no, all of these are wrong actually. Okay, I'm going to look at the solution because not understanding and it's getting late. I'm sorry for the spoiler. Where is the DNF? They don't have the DNF? 3 pointers. Okay, yeah, 3 pointers, 1. So you partition the array into 3 sections in a single pass, and you maintain pointers for the boundaries of 0, 2 and the current one. When you see a 0, we swap it to the left section. This is the Dutch one. Okay, I think then I memorized some other algorithm. Wait, the counting sort probably. Yeah, where was I messing up? I think it was this algorithm, not the DNF. I was not implementing the DNF at all. Okay, so this fine. Okay, fine. So what they have done is that we have set I as equal to 0. Okay, and since we know that this is going from 0 to 2, we will do for I in range 3. Okay, then we are going across the frequency at the ith position, and we are decrementing the frequency as we are using it. And for the nums, we are adding or overwriting it with our value, that is I, and then we increment I. Okay, not return anything. Okay, fine, not returning anything. Frequency of I. Okay, index is equal to, index is different. I think I should probably take a break. We have an index that is solely used for finding the numbers index, sort of. We're not incrementing this anywhere. Okay, yes, over here, index plus is equal to, oh my god, index plus is equal to 1. Okay, we are anyways having I being incremented at each round of the 0, 1 and 2. Okay, I'll still go over the solution once again. We find the frequency, and now we have to fill in and override the numbers array with all the frequencies that we have. Okay, we go across a loop of 3 items, 0, 1 and 2. We check the frequency count of 0, 1 and 2 amongst the numbers, and we decrement the frequency, and we override the numbers index with our I, and we increment our index. Okay, if I'm not able to solve the next problem, we will end the live stream. Fine. Top k frequent elements. Given an integer array nums, we have k, return the k most frequent elements within the array. We have this, we have k is equal to 2. So the top 2 elements here are 2 and 3. Okay, I can return the output in any order. Fine. Top k frequent elements. Okay, this reminds me of bucket sort, and the way bucket sort will work here is that we take this, we'll form buckets. So the bucket at the 0th index would mean how many times the element 0 has occurred, so that will be empty. Okay, then the second bucket, it will be empty like this. Second bucket will have the count of all the elements, count of all the 1 that has occurred in the nums, so it will be 1 here. Okay, and all the elements which has occurred 2 times, that is 2. All the elements which has occurred 3 times, so that is 3. Okay, so these represents that at 0th frequency what all element has occurred. Fine. So to implement this, I would need buckets, I would need frequency mapping. Okay, I'll start with frequency map. It will be default dictionary of the type integer. Okay, and for num in nums. I'll go on adding it onto the frequency map. Priority queue. Oh, I've never worked with that in the solution. Wait, I of text deleting. Heap. I've not tried heap with this. But let me finish this and then we can check the solution for heap and see if I can understand that. Because this one I had implemented using bucket sort and I felt bucket sort was easier to understand. But no worries, we'll check over with heap as well. So we were at this. Frequency map of number will be incremented with 1. Now we have the frequency map. So the frequency map for this will look something like, I'll just print it here. Okay. HashSet, we'll go over all the solutions, okay, because I'm not familiar with the other ones. Now if I start that, I'll be struggling with those. Okay, we have this. Then we'll form the buckets. So buckets will be for in range length of nums plus 1. Now why plus 1? Because we have a bucket that is being occupied at the 0th index. Oh no, I was not aware. No, I'm not doing BTech. I'm a working professional looking to get better at job interviews. Once the solution is done, we can check to see which is better and which is convenient to understand. Okay. Anyways, we have formed the buckets. We'll fill the buckets now. Okay, so for key comma value in frequency map dot items, I will take the buckets, and now for the key I have to fit in the value, right? So for key dot append value. So if at all we had any element that was, oh, you're not familiar with bucket sort, no worries, I'll explain it to you again. So if suppose we had this 4, 4, I think you can apply bucket sort in other scenarios as well. That's nice. So in this scenario 4 has occurred 2 times, right? So I would append the 4 and 2 in one bucket, that is at the second index. Second index means these two elements have occurred at a frequency of 2 times. Third index has occurred at a frequency of 3 times, right? If at all I had 5 as well, now 5 has occurred only once, so it would get appended in a bucket of the first index. This is about bucket sort, okay? Now this might not be relevant now since I've changed this, but let's move ahead. We have appended items onto the bucket. Now I will require a resultant list. I'll go in the inverse direction because I need the top k, And the way buckets are formed, you can slice the top k and it'll have the most frequency, right? Because it's at the top. So for I in range, length of nums +1, -1, -1. Wait, not sure about +1 because it's already having the extra 0th index sorted, right? I think it might require +1. Anyways, let's just dry run and check once again. So once this is done, we will have j is equal to 0 and we will go across the buckets now. So while let's see, nums, what am I doing? We have to go on while the length of res, no, wait. We have to go on while j is less than length of nums, length of bucket, buckets of I. Okay. Okay, sure, you can ask me. Okay, I'm not aware about these two companies. Give me some background. You can also give me a ratio of the LPA or the CTC have been offered. So what happens is that whenever you get an offer and you have two offers in hand, try to choose the company which has the greater pay. Why? Because okay, sure, Java Spring Boot is pretty famous even now, and even in the banking world they use Spring Boot or Java. What about Tech Matrix? See, if the offer is good and if you have scope of growing, then you choose that one. Growth above offer. But the thing is, if you start with a lower base salary, changing the sort of range of income or salary you get becomes difficult. So if you start with a higher salary, it is more possible that you will get higher salaries in the near future. QA Salesforce. Okay. QA Salesforce. What do you want to do actually? There's not much difference, right? So choose the field that you want to excel in. I'm not sure about QA Salesforce, but if you want to be a software developer, then you go ahead with Monocept. I get it. Then go with Monocept if that's what you want to or you aspire to be in. And you can anyway switch. I'm not sure about QA Salesforce, what the tech stack is like. Maybe I'm not sure about the field itself. So yeah. Well, chase doesn't the length. So now if we are going across each of these buckets, one bucket at a time. Now if it is less than the length of buckets, we will append That's great, you're good at DSA. I was very bad at DSA back when I was in college. I would understand the algorithms, but while the implementation time came, I would struggle. Okay, then that's it, right? You have your solution. You go with monocept then. Don't worry that much. We will append buckets of I, and if length of res becomes equal to k, we will return, not return, if it's equal to k, yes, then we have to return res. I'm working at Vision Bank. My job description is, so I'm an assistant manager in technology department. So my role is kind of wide, but I'm being used for front end and back end. Yeah. That's nice, but you can keep trying for more offers. Maybe you can try better. Three comma 3. What is this? Wait. Let's start up in buckets of I. I have to increment j as well. What was the purpose of j? J plus is equal. No, I think I'm messing things up. If j is less than the buckets of I, then this will be j. Yeah, okay. This is also wrong. No, I'm not trying to switch. It's just that my job title is pretty wide. And I'm looking for jobs as well, so just trying to upskill and be relevant to the market. Key dot append value. What went wrong here? This index is out of range. Seven comma 7. It'll have 3 buckets. Okay, let me print the frequency map. I tried referring one of my friends, so they have to go through some different procedure through different people. So I am not like, I cannot refer. I tried asking the CTO, so things did not work out. They had a different procedure of hiring and they would not accept referrals, at least from me. Seven colon 2. Oh, this is supposed to be value, and this is supposed to be the key because the key is the frequency. These numbers run. Your output was none. What did I do? I work at Vision Bank. I have over 4 years of experience. Yes, I'm new to this channel. Oh wait, you are new, okay. Welcome. This is fine. Create a frequency map, we have buckets. I'll just look at the bucket ones. Okay, that is right. If this went right, even the others should go. I'm the most comfortable with Python, despite Python not being used much in my job role. It's just an easy language to pick up and learn. Where was I at? Buckets, right. Plus 1 maybe. Out of range, no. In my current job role, it's Angular and Spring Boot. I'd never worked with these tech stack before because previously I had experience with React and Node. I don't get how am I messing this up now. I've done this problem several times. These bucket ones. While j is less than length of the bucket. You have to append it onto the result. Okay, let's try run this. Your output was none, but the expected return type is listed. Okay, that means this is never happening. So if this is greater than equal to k length of res. Oh, even I have to leave. Okay, I guess I'll just solve this problem and I'll leave then. Sure. Ask your next question. That's good. You should never use programming language as, your sole identity. It's just another tool in your toolbox. So yeah. Right. That's the best approach. Because in the end, these are just tools that you have. Mastering a tool is good, but being a generalist is better. Because you never know in your next company which tool they might work with. And there are chances that it might not be the same tech stack that you worked on before. So having that mindset of learning and catching up things faster is good. I will print here maybe. Well, j is less than the length of bucket of I think it's messing up here. Let's see. Seven. Yes, I have that. It's because I need to keep another bucket for the sake of 0 because I've added 0, right? Reverse loop. You mean this one? Or this? Yeah, what's wrong here? Oh, this should start with this, right? Nahi yaar. I tried. No, not working. It's skipping on the 7. Let me do one thing. I will print these buckets. So the buckets are going empty, that means we need that -1 gone. Let's run this. See, now that 7 is acknowledged. But it's never appended onto the result. Why so? If length of res is greater than equal to k. I'll print res here. So it is printed in res 7. Then the buckets -1. Wait. Oh yes, you're right. You're right. I give up. I'm checking the solution. I'm so sorry. It's just itna raat ho gaya and I'm not able to figure it out. I've done this problem several times, you know. I don't know how I'm messing this up. Okay. Buckets. No, see, it is length of nums only. but it was only till 0. Everything is right. Wait. If it's... No, -1, I have to remove it because... Wait. This will be 0, this will be this, and this will be nums. I'll tell you why it is nums. It's because we take the worst case here. I mean, it can be buckets as well. Fine, I'll just take nums then. I'll dry run this once again. Just wanna know where I'm messing it up. I mean, what's the difference if I break it here and if I return res later, it'll still be the same than returning res before. Oh. Okay. We were not supposed to return res here. Right. The return res was the problem. You were supposed to break here. And I think this will also work with buckets. We were just taking the worst case scenario, but it'll also work with buckets. Oh. Okay, we have two issues to talk about. One is that we cannot use length of buckets here. Why? Because buckets would determine only till the frequency sort of count that they have, if that makes sense. Buckets would mean only the distinct numbers that we have, right? And it's not even the distinct numbers, it is the distinct in frequency counts that we have. No, this is not LeetCode, this is NeetCode. I'm not there on LeetCode. I'm there, but I don't solve much questions, so there's no point in checking my LeetCode. So that was one issue wherein we could not have used the buckets here. The other problem was the break and the return statement. So we had to break here and get out of the entire loop and then return res. Yes, I know these are from LeetCode only, but I'm not solving on LeetCode. I'm solving on this NeetCode profile. That's great. I have solved 30 questions and I'm still getting stuck in simple things. Okay, Harshit, can you explain about this break and return res? Why I could not have used return res in place of break? Yes, it's always quality over quantity. Yes. Yeah, sure. Oh, wait. Then you would not be able to see it. Yeah, can you see? In this section where I've used break, previously it was return res and it was not working. I'll just show you once again. See. It gives wrong answer. Oh wait, it's nums. 1 second. So it passes for this scenario, okay, but it fails in this case. I think we have to return a value, so if I return res here and return res there, it's the same, right? It's the same. There's no difference. I just had to return a global res sort of a return statement. Yes, now we'll move on to the next question. If I like the question, I'll solve it. Wrong index of bucket? No, the bucket indexes are right. Don't look at this one. Yeah. So this J stands for the elements inside of the buckets. We take the elements appended and then we check the length of res. So if the length of res is greater than k or if it's equal to k, we just return. We could also break it. I mean, now it doesn't make sense to even return that. I mean, you could return it in both the scenarios. Break will also return res, so would return res do. But we had to return a global res, that was important. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. Encode and decode strings. It's 134 here. Is anyone there up? If people are there, then I'll solve, else I'll skip. I guess all have left. Code and decode strings. Okay, so we have a list of strings. We have to encode this and then decode this. So let's say we had this res equal to empty string. Now we have to, for s in strings, we will sort of concatenate it onto our resultant list, resultant string. We'll concatenate this with the length of strings a hash and the string itself, the length of s, not strings. Okay, and then we will return res. Okay. Let me just print this and see if it is as I have desired. Right, so this will sort of concatenate the length of the word before a delimiter and the word itself. Okay, because we require delimiter for the sake of hopping across the words and decoding the words. Okay, let's decode this. We have to return a list of strings, so we'll have a resultant list. Okay, and we were supposed to go across the characters. So wait, we have a string. Okay, so while J is not, no wait, for character in the string S, I'll use I for I in range length of S. Sure. If length of S, yeah, even that would work. See, accepted. I'll submit also. Okay, right. So if now we have to keep on hopping, so I'll use J, I'll set J to be equal to I. Okay, now while we have not seen S of J is not equal to the delimiter. The delimiter used as hash here. So while this is not equal to the delimiter, we will go on incrementing J. How this would help us is that now we can find the size by computing the integer of S of, now we'll slice from I to J. Okay, I to J, that will get us the size of the string. Once we get that, we need to increment to sort of get past the delimiter. So we will increment J plus is equal to 1. Okay, and now we have to hop across the word. In fact, this is wrong, I feel, because we will be hopping, right? So while I is less than the length of S, I is equal to 0. Okay, so this is done. Delimiter, we have hopped past the delimiter. Now we have to find the word. So word will be equal to, wait, I'll just copy paste this here. So the word will be S of, we'll start from J. Okay, we'll go on till J plus size. Fine, and we'll set I is equal to J plus size, because we want to hop across the word, and then we'll land up at 5, and then the loop will run again, right? Did we miss something? We have to also append, right? Res dot append word, and let's return res. Okay,